You're watching Satluj TV News. I'm Angus Scott in London. Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau has finally left India after being delayed in India's capital New Delhi for 2 days after a problem with his official aircraft. Trudeau had spent part of his time at the G20 summit in conference with the Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi, meetings which have been described as tense. Canadian-Indian relations have become increasingly strained over recent months, culminating in Canada's announcement of a pause in trade talks between the two countries, just 2 days before the Canadian Prime Minister flew to Delhi for the G20 meeting. Tensions primarily stem from the fact that Canada has become the safe haven for the largest portion of the Sikh diaspora outside India. Home to over 750,000 Sikhs, the democratic environment provided by Canada has allowed thousands of Sikhs to flee persecution in India and find safety in North America. Here they have enjoyed the freedom to be vocal in both their criticism of the Indian government and their demands for the establishment of an independent state, Khalistan. India does not tolerate any discussion of secessionism and treats any debate about Khalistan as illegal. The governing party, the BJP, have been criticised widely by both Sikhs and human rights organisations for their deeply pro-Hindu agenda in government, at the expense of India's religious minorities, and particularly of their questionable treatment of pro-Khalistan campaigners, several of whom remain in detention in India without trial. At a meeting between the two Prime Ministers, Narendra Modi aired concerns over what he called anti-India activities of extremist elements in Canada, referring to Sikhs campaigning across Canada. It has become a popular tactic of the Indian government to label legitimate political opponents as extremists and terrorists, accusations widely broadcast by India's deeply partisan press. However, in response, Justin Trudeau reminded his Indian counterpart about the importance of respecting the rule of law, democratic principles and national sovereignty, particularly as Mr. Modi leads what he claims is the world's largest democracy. Mr. Trudeau later told a press conference he had also discussed foreign interference in Canada's affairs with Mr. Modi. Canada is including India in its sweeping investigation into election interference. In recent months, the murder of pro-Khalistan campaigner Hardeep Singh Nijjar on Canadian soil has provoked several Sikh organisations to accuse the Indian government of being behind the killing. And there is little doubt that the Canadian government will be investigating the presence of Indian Secret Service activity on Canadian territory. You've been watching Satluj TV News, and don't forget to click on that subscribe button to make sure you get to see stories as they're broadcast. And of course, if you have any comments or opinions on any of our news stories, you can comment below, or indeed drop us a direct message at satlujtv.com. We'd love to hear from you. In the meantime, thanks for watching. For Satluj TV News, I'm Angus Scott in London.